in the yard. Things are really starting to grow. You know how you wake up one morning and suddenly everything is green? It's like green everywhere now. And one of the first of our natives to bloom is the native columbine that's down here. It's got a really simple flower with the two-tone of the yellow and the red. And it's one of my favorites. It will bloom every other year, but it will come back every year. It just blooms in the alternating season. Here is the golden Alexander. You can see the blooms are getting ready to come on, and our blue flag iris is around in here. It's a very delicate, dainty blue iris flower, just absolutely lovely, and it's native to this part of Indiana. So I came out here to the guilds to kind of look around and see what of our natives happens to be coming up. And I know that on my patio, the bee balm is coming up really well. It's also coming up in the front yard. We also have some out in the guild. So we've got a little one here. This is like the third year that this has come up in this location. And I suspect that we will have even more. It spreads pretty nicely, and the bees love it, and a lot of the other insects. It's just a really good pollinator-friendly plant to have in your garden. Bushes, so you can see where all the blossoms are either coming on or have come on. These come late in or early in the season, and the thing that's really great is we have like 10 of these bushes, and they are all full of blossoms, just like this one. One of my favorite natives in the garden here is being very showy right now with its flowers. This is the black chokeberry bush. It has a lot of flowers on it, and I know we harvested probably 40, 50 pounds maybe of black chokeberries last year. And while they have a funny flavor when they're fresh off the vine, if you dehydrate them, you can put them in cereal and they taste really nice. The other thing you can do with them is make jam or jelly. This is our American plum. It's been, and this is one of the trees that's been in since we installed trees in the fall of 2019. So it's had some time to establish itself. It has blossomed this year. I can see several places where there are spent blossoms, and it appears like some of them actually may produce fruit. I am not certain at this time. The other thing that I've noticed about the American plum is that it's sending a lot of offshoots. The American plum will grow in a rather shrubby fashion if you allow it, and we've installed it in this wildlife hedge for that very purpose, to become shrubby and become part of a hedge. I'm standing here in the guild with the gooseberries and elderberries. I'm looking at this elderberry bush. It hasn't blossomed or flowered yet. It does that a little bit later in the season, but it's really doing nicely. It's gotten to be a good size in the last couple of years. It's starting to send out shoots, so we are going to have more. These are the same variety as the ones that we installed on the playground. They've just had a few more years to mature. One of the things that I am trying this year is to take our gooseberry bushes, which are planted near the elderberries and have some really bad thorns, and I'm trying to train the gooseberries to go up into the elderberry bush and perhaps deter the birds from eating all the elderberries. Is one of the ones that I planted, and while humans could eat service berries, I really planted them in order to attract a new kind of bird to our food forest. It's called a cedar waxwing. Other wildlife also like service berries. This one looks like we are going to have berries this year. So what that means is that between the humans and the animals, there will be something new to eat. So I'm standing here next to the apricot tree. I had about given up on it ever having apricots again. We had one really good summer when they were so prolific that they were on the ground everywhere. When I was mowing the yard, they got squished all over. It appears that we are going to have apricots this year, and I can tell you that these apricots are relatively disease-free. You can pick them off the tree, you open them at the cleft, and the seed falls right out. So they're very fun to eat while you're still out in the garden. As we wind up for today, I just wanted to let everyone know I'm so glad you're here. And one of the things I try to do is I try to live my life and find a way to just demonstrate by example different ways of sustainability. And one of the things that we do a lot of here is we compost our food scraps. We also send out through Dirt Wayne, we compost our non-vegetable food scraps so they can be composted commercially. And this summer we are going to be taking there are some plants when we weed them out of the garden, we cannot put them in the regular compost because they're invasive and we don't want them to take hold somewhere else in the garden. So now we are going to ask Dirt Wayne to, they are going to pick up our plant scraps or our yard waste weekly. This is a service they offer regularly, along with many others. And I would just encourage you to, wherever you are, find these people that are trying to do these sustainable practices and support their businesses.